Okay, so we look at these two swings. The left-hand one was your before one, okay? As we can see there, quite round in the posture, hips are quite level, quite squat in the knees there, sort of bending down, trying to almost get under the ball, that sort of mentality. Hands very, very close to the legs. Now, because of that movement, the inability to move your body...
Hands are very close to the legs.
Yeah, I mean, you've got minimal space, if at all, really. Because of that minimal movement on the backswing, your backswing length's quite short. You can see as you go down, so your head on that blue line, basically going towards the ball. So you're shrinking the gap between you and the golf ball here as you go down. So now you've got to do either on the way back up, you've got to compensate in some way, otherwise your club's dumping in the ground a long way behind the ball. Now, you will almost unconsciously make that adjustment by pulling the arms up or standing up or both. And then you might miss the ball or top it, or a combination of whatever we might get, okay? So as we come back to the golf ball, try to get back into position, okay? And then through. And your follow through there was okay, but the ball is sort of shooting off to the right there. Not a bad follow through, but the backswing length certainly restricting how much we can go. This one here on the right-hand side, you can see a much better posture.
Looks very different. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you watch golf on TV. That's not dissimilar to people you see on TV setting to golf. Flexing the knees,
rounded in the shoulders, but
which is fine. Yeah,
straight at the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nice arm hang there. Plenty of space now from your hands to swing. And if we compare the two backswing lengths that you had, that was basically your backswing length there. So a lot of knee bend. The weight for me is going on the toes there, and you've gone nearer the golf ball compared to that.
Massive difference.
It is a really... The leg's going to move, that's fine. And that's going to maybe, in time, sort of gradually reduce. But your leg does want to move.
As my flexibility improves, the leg will move less to get me round.
Exactly. So don't try and stop moving the leg at the moment. The key thing is we're going to move into this right hand. If we look at this foot here now as you go back, you can see there's a bit of movement into that heel. Now, again, we don't want to be lifting the toes off the ground independently. If they move a smidgen, that's fine. But don't make the swing where you sort of try and lift it when you're hitting the ball. As a practice drill, absolutely fine. You can practice moving into that heel, lifting the foot, whatever it may be. No problem, okay? But as we come back to the golf ball now, again, good connection. That ball smacking the screen there nice and high. Now, because we worked a lot on that right foot when you came to the golf ball, there wasn't much movement here on the way through. We had a couple of swings where you did turn through better, as you saw, but that was when you were more on your toes trying to do this, but then you sort of pulled it a long way left, okay? So we're looking really at setup, which I think for the most part you've got. We talk about that sort of feet together, club sort of shaft pointing towards your left hip, gripping the club, so we're getting that tilt over the golf ball with our spine, a little bit of side bend as your right hand comes on, and then we're good to go, okay? You've got that for the most part, and I think...
The weight on the back heel...
Yeah, and then transfer it to the left heel, yeah? Which, again, is just going to be some practice. Being in this position, I think there are a couple of swings you made where you said, I'm overthinking it too much. Where you could think about your right foot, and then you think, you get to here, and again, you get to top of the backswing here at sort of 5.4 seconds, you're hitting the golf ball at 5.7, so third of a second, you're hitting the golf ball, and then through to there, it's less than a second, isn't it, from top of the backswing? So there's not a lot of time you can think. It's got to be reactionary, the same way you said when you hit a squash ball or anything. Yeah. And there are a couple of times you ask questions, are my arms doing this, am I doing this? No, okay, there are some things we'll look at, but for the moment now, until you kind of get the engine working well, what your arms do, almost irrelevant to some extent. I'm not saying they're not irrelevant, they're not going to...
It's interesting, you teach very differently to the guy who taught me previously, who was all about getting this arm straight and this arm bent.
Trying to bend an arm and straighten an arm, it doesn't... your brain's like, hang on, I'm trying to rub the belly, tap the head, and I think for me we've got to look at basics and stuff and say, okay, right, simplify the movement, get a good setup. You can think about a lot of things statically, you can say stand there, okay, so I've got my setup position, I've got this, 2 or 3 things there, you're not moving 100 mile an hour, so we can think, okay, got that there, okay, good, okay, I can do that, and you can just drill that over, boom, 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 till it becomes very natural. And then from there, get the big part of the golf swing, which is the torso and the body, which now can move better. Once you've got a better posture, you're able to move. Get that moving better. Once he's kind of fully loaded up with petrol and he can move efficiently, then we'll start looking at what your arms and hands do and fine-tuning things which will control the direction and then the distance control. As I said, at the moment, it's get contact with the golf ball. We did that most of the time. Get the ball up in the air and give it a good whack and get it going somewhere, Once you've got those 3 things in place from a good setup and a good body movement, then we'll fine-tune things to get the ball going in the direction we want to go and a bit more control distance, okay? But until you get those first 2 things, there's no point trying to work on controlling the hands.
There's
and
something
doing
to
all.
work with there.
There's definitely, but again, there's a good hand-eye core. I mean, a couple of 6 irons out at 170, which is a long hit, and I think you'll always be someone with the racket background of squash and other things. You'll be able to create club head speed quite comfortably, so you'll never be a short hitter. It's going to be for you just getting the engine to work better and controlling these things. But yeah, if you can practice to get into that setup position, get the body working well, and you can see your head now staying nice and stable on the horizon. They're not moving near that white line. There's no movement at all. And the thing is, what you said at the start of the lesson, I don't want to move too much because I go wrong. The more you're moving there, the better the movement compared to lesser movement and worse. Yeah. So sometimes swinging more and trying to turn more was actually giving you a better movement. You see, yeah. So sometimes more can be better. Yeah. Don't try and
have to force it.
Well, yeah, and that was the thing because you were going against kind of like a curve in your spine. So does that kind of make sense? Yeah.
That is fantastic.
Excellent. Good stuff. Very, very good.